The underwater noises that were detected in the area on Wednesday that gave sort of, a shot of hope. But what do we know?
Yeah, the US Coast Guard's saying that it's still a search and rescue mission, and you have to remain optimistic in these situations. You have to remain hopeful. And those underwater noises, they were detected about 19 hours ago. A banging noise detected by a Canadian plane involved in the search. But acoustic analysis is underway, but it's proving to be very, very difficult. And the noises themselves cannot be identified. So a very slim hope there as well. But the search area is still so huge, 5,000 square miles. That's 13,000 square kilometres and 4 kilometres deep as well. And when you consider the time factor here, contact was lost on Sunday, about an hour 45 into the mission. Best estimate now, those 5 people on board have got about 16 hours of breathable air left.
Not surprising, attention is now turning to OceanGate's approach to safety. What sorts of concerns are being raised?
Yeah, all sorts of things are bubbling to the surface, including a 2018 court filing from a former employee, David Lockridge. He says that he was sacked for raising safety concerns. He warned that the submersible posed extreme danger to passengers. From the same year, 2018, there was a letter from the Maritime Technology Society warning about OceanGate's experimental approach, and that could have catastrophic outcomes. But even the company founder, Stockton Rush, who is on board that submersible that's gone missing, he called safety in a 2022 podcast, quote, a pure waste. There was another story as well today from a German adventurer, Arthur Leubel, who went on the voyage in 2021. He described it as a suicide mission. He said there was loss of contact with the surface on that voyage as well. There were electrical problems. A bracket that was holding on a stabilization tube was reattached with zip ties. And he said he considers himself lucky to be alive. As for OceanGate, we've had no comment about its safety record so far.
Well, it's interesting because one of our stories talk about, how this tour leader, Stockton Rush, the founder of the company, which owns the missing submersible, saying that safety is pure waste. If you want to just be safe, don't get out of bed, don't get in your car, don't do anything. He said back in 2022 in a podcast with CBS. Is this casting kind of bigger questions as to regulatory, if there's any regulatory or safety oversight, given that we know this sort of extreme, exploration, be it you talk about the sea or space, is becoming more popular?
Yeah, that is true. And OceanGate was, as you say, pushed back somewhat when it came to regulation and felt it did restrict development in this new area. Interestingly, in terms of space, there is a moratorium in place that prevents the FAA from regulating around tourist safety when it comes to space exploration at the moment. And that's designed to encourage experimentation, push the boundaries. It's a similar sort of scenario to what the aviation industry had way back in the early 1900s. That moratorium expires on October the 1st this year in terms of space exploration. We are talking about 2 different things here, of course, but it'll be interesting to see what happens once that deadline lapses.